I'm not currently staking DOT. Some of those airdrops are probably going to perform well. Alright, so the first airdrop for Dymension stakers is going to be distributed in just 2 days, and that is Nim Network, one that I've been covering from the beginning when I mentioned that you should claim it. So the wait is over. They have moved fast. This is going to be the first roll-up that's going to launch on Dymension. And then, of course, there are many more to come. As I've mentioned in previous videos, we had 6 the last time I spoke about them. There could be more pretty soon. We don't know. Of course, the price of Dymension itself hasn't been doing great, just like many of the other altcoins, because of the market conditions, in the sense that when Bitcoin takes a plunge, the altcoins get absolutely trashed. And unfortunately, this was the case for Dymension as well. It didn't get saved from this. And so, yeah, Nim Network are going to launch their mainnet. As you can see here, this was published 22 hours ago. It's going to happen on the 1st of May. So just pay attention to that. And one other thing I forgot to mention in the last video is that Nim Network have maximized their airdrop now. So when you try to check it and claim it at the same time, because you ultimately had to paste your Dymension address in order to confirm that yes, you are eligible and you want to receive that airdrop and you want it to be sent to that address, then you would have gotten maybe around like 150, 160, maybe even 200 Nim, right? Now it's pretty much doubled since then. So if you go to that airdrop checker link now, then you can see that it is much bigger than it used to be. Yeah, this is it about the Nim Network. Let's move on and look at Polkadot's price here, because something interesting has been happening. So as you know, Polkadot has been going down with the market. But what's interesting is that on this 1 hour chart, it is trading at $6.26 at the moment, and it's on the support zone, because as you can see, the last time it reached this level here earlier on in April, mid-April in fact, it had held quite well around this area, and then it pushed back up to go to 747, and then it failed and went back down. And unfortunately, we may see it go down further. I'm not saying it definitely will, but there's a high possibility. Although this support area seems to be holding well because it's been retested multiple times, but there are only so many times it can hold around this area. So we'll have to see if it can hold quite steady around it. Now, if we scroll further back in the past here, we can see that at the end of January is the last time that it got to this area here, and it actually went as low as $6. But it did hold quite well around this area, as you can see. And then we formed a lot of resistance now, because this previous higher area was support, which is the 670 area here, as you can see. So it's going to be harder to break it, but not impossible, as you've seen. Like, we went to over $7 when we did go up with the market. So when we're going to go up, we're going to go up. If we're down, as long as Bitcoin holds okay, DOT is going to hold around this support area like it's doing right now. It's not continuing to dump, unless some major catalyst happens that will cause a bigger dump. But for now, we're okay. In terms of the treasury payout, we still have about 10 to 11 days left before the next payout is due. And the $7 million worth of DOT is already accumulated there in that pot. That's going to be sent out to referendum winners. It's probably going to be bigger. I'm expecting maybe 15 million, maybe higher. But yeah, that's the way it is with the spending. Unfortunately, it is wild right now, but it seems like DOT isn't suffering because of that high spending, because it is moving down with the market. So yeah, $6 is the next area of support, and then if we go break below that, it's going to be around 570. So it's not looking great here. It just feels like, you know, it's kind of over for Polkadot for the foreseeable future, given that you know, it hasn't done well since March. Like ever since it went to that peak in March, you know, the high of the year, it was on a continuous downtrend ever since. As you can see here, it kept on touching the 100-day moving average. It couldn't break higher, it went down. It couldn't break higher, it went down. It couldn't break higher, it went down. So it kept on touching it. And now, if it's going to go down below this, it might touch the 100-day moving average again, possibly around the 650 to 660 area. That's where we might see it get retested eventually. Let's hope that things change for the crypto market and we are going to see an upside again. If not, it could be like sometime in the summer before we'll see Polkadot perform like it did here and change that trend, right? Because as you can see, the last time it had the downtrend, even though it went to like 950 in December and then it continued to go down, it was like at the end of January that it started to move back up. So it literally took 1 month for it to change from the uptrend to the downtrend and back to the uptrend again. So yeah, I mean, as soon as we're going to see some momentum like this, push to the upside, fail, push to the upside again, that's when you'll know that we are moving into that next leg up, the next uptrend. And that's when I'd be looking to sell most of my dot position, because I don't want to be left out once again. Unfortunately, I had missed selling this here. I'm not currently staking dot at the moment. I'm just waiting, on the sidelines, waiting for that uptrend to happen. Even though if it means I'm losing out on staking rewards, that's okay, because the gains are much bigger by selling this kind of uptrend. When you see it like this, selling this and then waiting for that pullback to get back in, for a longer move. But yeah, I mean, if we do this like once a month, you just wait for the uptrend, sell on the uptrend, wait for the downtrend when peak FUD is on, when the market is really red, and then just buy back in. It seems to work fine like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stake anymore. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait and play these out, even though they take a month, 2 months, whatever it takes. It's going to be worth it in the end, because the gains that you get from this is much better than the gains that you get from staking. Sure, you may be comfortable staking, but each to their own. Like if you don't want to be watching this every month, which you probably do anyway because you are curious what the price is doing, especially if you're selling those staking rewards, then that's fine. Staking is fine. But for me personally, like to wait 28 days, no, thank you. If it was up to 14 days, perhaps I would be okay with that, because 2 weeks to on stake is not that bad. Like as soon as the uptrend begins, if you're on stake, within 2 weeks, it may be that you might be able to exit at a good profit on the uptrend, or even like in the early stages of the downtrend. But like for 1 month, haven't seen what's happening within a month, I just don't feel comfortable to be on staking as soon as the uptrend begins, only to be caught in the downtrend again by the time I get them out. So yeah, but that's just me. Now looking at Dymension here, Dymension is suffering the same fate as Polkadot, as you can see here. It went from 779 back in March, 780 in fact, all the way down to 323. So the dumping has been immense here for Dymension. A lot of people are staking, for the airdrops. We are going to get a lot of airdrops. So I'm hoping that, whatever has been invested in Dymension, even though it has pretty much dumped quite a lot. Like for me personally, I'm down like 45% on Dymension since I got in. I'm hoping that those airdrops are going to make up for that loss in price for Dymension in the long run, because if I'm going to get like say 8 or 9 or 10 airdrops, whatever they're going to pay out, and they're going to be worth more than 50%, which I've lost, and the price of Dymension somewhat holds or perhaps even goes back up, then it's going to pay off, right? Now, if the price of Dymension does go back to that $7, $8 range, and then the airdrops are going to be worth quite a lot as well, then that's a huge win. It could be that even those airdrops might be worth 2 times to 3 times the Dymension staked bag. It could be, right? Especially when you've got so many different airdrops, because some of those are bound to perform really well. Not in these current market conditions right now for the altcoins, but whenever that sentiment is going to be back, and whenever that bullish momentum and the buying pressure is going to come back for the altcoins, that's when we can hope that some of those airdrops are probably going to perform well. But not all of them. Yeah, definitely not all of them. I wouldn't expect that to happen. But even if we get like 2 or 3 of them, that's good enough for me. So yeah, just wanted to do this short video to let you know about the Nim airdrop, that it's finally coming. DOT isn't doing great in terms of the price, but then neither are most of the other alts, so nothing special there. And then Dymension isn't doing great either. It dropped more than 50% from its all-time high. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye-bye.